Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today is going to be a video talking about the iPhone, Apple, and my experience being an iPhone user for the past like 2 or 3 years, having an iPhone. I'd probably even say 4 years, going from the iPhone 12 XR, I think was the model, and then the iPhone 14 Pro, and obviously now having a Samsung S23 Ultra. Kind of what my experience is already like, and just kind of my thoughts on Apple and iPhone devices. So if this is something that interests you, stay tuned for this video. It's going to be a good one. So being an iPhone user is a very interesting thing. You become part of an ecosystem. You become a part of Apple. Apple's brand is kind of, once you're in, you're part of the community, right? You're part of the ecosystem of Apple. And when you're in, there's so many different features and things that you can get. For example, you can get, my bad. So you can get an Apple Watch, right? You can get an iPad. You can get a MacBook. You can get so many different things that make you an iPhone user. And the problem with that is that once you want out, what if there's a product that you really like? It is very difficult to make that a part of that ecosystem. Apple loves to kind of contain people in it. And I think that's a smart brand and just genius business idea, right? Because you might as well keep people in your business. Hey, now we have a new Apple Watch. Now we have, an Apple TV, right? All of these products coincide with that philosophy that this is Apple. You are a part of the family. Now, my experience having an iPhone, is essentially I've had devices way back since like the really thin iPod Nano. I had the original iPod Movie. It's been a long time. And Apple does this thing where they're very, very, very particular about how updates and just new devices come out. I feel like when Steve Jobs was around, there were way more innovative devices that were being created, whereas today, everything seems very minimal in terms of innovation. Let me explain. When the iPod Nanos were coming out, remember how many different types of iPod Nanos there were? There was a clip that had a screen on it. There was the iPod Nano Movie that had a camera for the first time. There was the iPod Touch, right? Same with the iPhone, the MacBook, changing the entire size. You're able to fit a MacBook inside of one of those folders, that iconic moment that Steve Jobs had. The iPad, right? All of these really innovative things while Steve Jobs was still alive. And I just feel like now the company is not really focusing on being innovative. It's focusing on maintaining a product's lifespan. And obviously, who knows when they're going to stop making the same iPhone every single year. And that is my problem with iPhone, was that nothing was changing. I felt so bland, every single day using the same device. It's just, everything feels the same. There's no customization. And I feel like for such a world that currently technology is ever changing, it just feels like Apple is still kind of stuck in the same kind of like, we're just going to keep doing the same thing because it works, and that's fine. It's fine that it works, but when you want to create new products, right, people want new things. What I love about Samsung compared to Apple is that they're being innovative with designs. The other day I went to T-Mobile and I tried out the Flip 4, and tried out the Fold 4, then the Flip 5, the Google Pixel Pro, 7 Pro. I mean, there's so many different types of Android phones that are out there that are just so amazing. The S23 Ultra comes with a stylus, able to hook it up to a TV. It's essentially Snapdragon 2. It's essentially a computer on a phone. And that's amazing. And I wish that Apple had that innovative kind of mindset, right? Like I when I think about people who are sitting down at that table at Apple and being like, all right, this is going to be the new iPhone 15 Pro Max. What is going to change? Titanium, already overheating. A better camera. Is it that better? No, it's not. It's just, and then like another button on the side. Nothing is really changing to the point where it's a big deal. And that's just frustrating as a consumer. We want to have new things, and I just feel like Apple is super far behind. So obviously, one, it just felt very repetitive having the same device every time. Number two is customization. I've used this phone for maybe about 4 or 5 days already, and the amount of customization that I've already been able to do within that time is more than I've ever been able to do throughout the 3 to 4 years that I've used Apple devices. I'm not only able to customize the home screen, I can customize the S Pen to use it. I can customize apps. I can download essentially any browser that I want, VPNs, emulators, anything like that. Like, there is limitless possibilities. Download any file, right? Convert any file. Like, it's just, there's so much more customization on Android, and the problem is that Apple has made it so that, like, once you're in that ecosystem, you can't really see the light. Like, it makes me think of, like, kind of a room that has no windows, so you're not able to see, like, what's out there. Maybe there is one window, it's that tiny little window, right? And you're able to see Android outside of it, but then it's like, nope, you can't leave, you have to stay in here. So once you make that jump, it's amazing. I'm also hooking up a microphone currently to this Android right now, which is just like not something I could do before. And obviously there is the new USB-C, and getting to that point, it's like, that was already something that was old. This is not something that it's new. Apple likes to do this thing where it's like, we just created this. We just introduced a USB-C. It's like, no, USB-C was already around way before. Devices have already had it. The amount of times that I've not been able to charge my phone or hook up my phone to a device because of just the lightning cable, it's like so frustrating. It's like, Apple, just be considerate of other consumers, right? It's crazy. Lastly, I shouldn't say lastly, but one of my other points is the blue text messages, right? So again, keeping that ecosystem, Apple has their own color of sending text messages, and once you are sending a message from an Android device to an iPhone, your messages will show up as green. Is this a big problem? You don't think it would be, but to a lot of people it is, because it makes people think that you're not a part of that ecosystem, which again is just super frustrating. Now, are there ways to work around that? There is, but is it really worth it just to change a color of a text message? No, it's not. It doesn't make sense. And again, with FaceTime, all of these features, Apple just locks you into it, and doesn't want to let you out. So, super frustrating about that. And honestly, lastly, I feel like Apple is a great company. I'm not trying to discourage anyone from ever getting an Apple device, and I don't want to be one of those Android users that's like, F Apple, they suck. I don't think they suck. I think they're honestly one of the best companies in the world, but I think the problem is that there's not a lot of innovation, there's not a lot of customization, and I'm yet to see a device that really blows my mind in terms of the capabilities that it's able to do. I feel like that used to be a trend that Apple used to have a lot, is like a new product would come out and you'd get really excited about that. And I feel like currently companies like Samsung, Google, I'd honestly even say, which is just like crazy to me, is like even like Nokia or like Motorola. It's like these companies are actually doing things to make products innovative and different, and I just wish Apple had that kind of mindset, because currently it doesn't feel like they really do. So anyways, those are kind of my thoughts about just going from Apple to now going to a Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra. And yeah, I mean, I'm already loving it a lot right now. I'm currently having issues with T-Mobile in terms of their service switching over from a iPhone to an Android, because of course Apple doesn't have a physical SIM card. They use eSIM. So then obviously there's issues between transferring over an eSIM transferring an eSIM that's on the iPhone to an Android, which is super frustrating. So again, that's another reason why Apple is kind of annoying me. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next video. Let me know down in the comments below, what would you guys like to hear about or talk about? Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate it. I'll see you in the next video. Peace out. Bye.